have my computer because I'm off to the library after this and I have to, that's why I have it with me, but I want you guys to see it. I don't think it's like uneven. I need to make this even somehow. But look at this. Good morning, little sloths. I'm coming to you from Burger King. And yes, I am actually in the restaurant. There's people walking around, there's music playing, so this is gonna be a little distracting. But I'm gonna do my best because I'm here for you and I'm really hungry. Like I said, it's morning time and I rode my bike here. It was like an interesting thing to get here because first of all, like I said, I rode my bike and I come in here with the bicycle and the manager goes, no sir, you cannot have the bike in here. And I said, oh, well, do you have a bike rack outside? No, we don't. So I'd like walk around the parking lot and find a pole just to strap my bike up to and hopefully no one's gonna take it, you know, but I feel like this is discrimination of the bikers, discrimination of the fit. You know, I have to have a car. Everyone's going through the drive-thru, you know? So anyways, I'm having breakfast at Burger King. My first time having breakfast here in like, how many years? It's been at least 4.5, probably 5 or 6 years since I've had Burger King breakfast. And as you can see, I got like half the restaurant because I'm very hungry. But yeah, I used to come here all the time with my father back when I was a kid. Getting the stairs already. Hello. And you know, it's bringing back memories as many foods do for me. So anyways, let me show you exactly what I got. The French toast sticks, and there's 5 of them in the bucket. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I got 4 orders, so I have 20 French toast sticks in total. And I got 2 orders of my favorite, oops, of course, dropped it. My favorite hash browns. And I also got over here, I know it says fish burger, but I ordered just a bun. Just the Whopper bun, which by the way costs 89 cents, and I think that's like really expensive. Just, you know, just for a bun, I think that's really pricey, but whatever. This is a special occasion, so let's begin. Oh my gosh. Now when you order the French toast sticks, they come with these little packets, and it's maple syrup. I don't even know if it's probably, yeah, it's just corn syrup and high fructose corn syrup and more sugar and artificial flavor, so it's not actually maple syrup. You know, that stuff's expensive, but it tastes really good. So that's what I'm gonna dip my everything in. And I also have over here, which you can't see, I have little things of ketchup. You know, if anyone asks, I'm just gonna be like, I'm not from here, this is my first time, you know, I'm from London, I'm from the chimney sweepers, the tippy top with Mary Poppins, yo. Okay, so yep, tastes like syrup. I brought my bicycle seat just so that no one you don't know what happens in these necks of the woods, you know? Like, living in a place in the world where you have to be very, you know, I don't want to say like dangerous, but you know. But you know, I am really cautious about safety and stuff where I live, so coming here, I'm gonna apply those same rules. You know, take your seat, take your wheels, take everything. I brought my helmet with me, of course. So, up here they come the shares. All right, here we go. My first French toast stick. It's been so long, it's been so many years. It tastes the same, as I remember. Hash brown. You guys can hear the music, but you know, the secret of having copyright music on YouTube is that you can't have more than 30 seconds of a continuous verse or the harmony, you know, 30 consecutive seconds. So you can have a song and chop it up in different 30 seconds and take out the 2 seconds in between the 30 seconds. And you can have that playing. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have to pay attention when I edit and make sure that there's no more than 30 seconds. So it's gonna be a little chip chop today, but oh, this is so delicious. It's exactly how I remembered. So now I'm putting the French toast stick into the ketchup. I'm telling you guys, I do not play around when it comes to food. All right? And all of this cost $16, which is like 2 days worth of food for me where I live. So good. And they don't need salt or anything because they're already nice and salty. I used to beg my father to take me here. Like I said, I used to come here all the time as a kid. Well, I had my obsession with trains and everything, so we used to take the metro because we were in Washington, D.C. We would take the metro to this park. We would go around the park either on our bicycle. Yeah, we used to ride bikes together. Sometimes we would ride to the park, and then afterwards we would go to Burger King, or sometimes Sunday morning, that's like Father's Day. He's sitting around, he's not at home, he likes to read the paper and have his coffee and watch TV. Well, my father's an early riser because of his work, so we would go to Burger King, and I would just be so happy, but we didn't do it often. I wish we did it a lot more, but we didn't. Oh my gosh, so yesterday, let me tell you, I was out at a dinner party. I kind of mentioned it in yesterday's mukbang. But I met this woman, I forget her name. She's 87. Yeah, because that Roger guy, or Patrick, no, he was 85. His wife Nancy was 80 something. So these were 80-year-olds. I was hanging out with, I told you I like older people. Well, so, yep, here comes the stare. Oh, he doesn't care. He's like, I have to get my food. I don't care what you do. So, but they have Cheetos French fries. Cheeto chicken French fries. I'm looking at the window advertisement. Chicken Cheeto French fries. Wow. Anyways, so this lady next to me, she was so funny, and somehow iPad came up into the conversation. She was talking about the iPad she has. And she was like, I just wish I knew how to use the darn thing. And I'm like, well, maybe you can have someone help you. Someone who's young. And she was like, no one has patience for me, frankly. And then she's like, I got that book, iPad for Dummies. I need iPad for Idiots. I know it doesn't really sound funny now, but the way she said it was very funny. I don't know, she was so cute. And she talked about her dreams of going to San Francisco, but she has a bad back and she has trouble walking. It's so funny, the guy sitting across from me, the 85-year-old, he was like, how did that happen? How did I get 85? Where did the time go, And he's like, I still feel like me. I'm still me. And that's what I've always believed, as a child, you believe that old people are just old and they don't know much, but as a child, I was like, I always saw old people as just being kids inside an old person's body. And that's what the guy said, and my dad says the same thing. Every birthday, he's like, I still feel like it's me from the 20s, in not the 1920s, in his 20s. So, yeah. Oh, and they were talking about the election. Now, I know that you guys don't like when I talk about politics, so I'm not really going to talk about, but I'm going to say what they said. And we were sitting there at the table, and I said, can you remember a time when the election has ever been this brutal, this nasty, this, just this way? And they said, I am 85 years old. My first president that I voted for was Eisenhower. At least Eisenhower. And they said, we have never seen it like this, ever. And they said, no matter who you're voting for, no matter who you're rooting for, at the end of the day, the presidency is a very, distinguished position that needs to have a lot of class. And they said it's terrible, some of the stuff that's been happening. They said they can't wait till it's over. And they actually said they hope whoever it is, they said both of them, either one of them should be impeached. So, that's what they think. I think they were very pro-Hillary, I could tell. All they did was So anyways,
Are you eating all that?
yeah.
I'm impressed. Are you taking a video? I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, I'm doing a video.
I was looking for dang, I thought you were making a commercial. Oh my goodness, this is for damn food. Have fun.
Thank you. So that man just said he was very impressed with the amount of food I'm eating. And, I'm such a small little guy, and I don't know. I just so now I'm gonna make my Whopper burger. This is my own invention because you guys, I don't eat meat and they don't have alternate, fake meat or veggie burger. So I said, why not make a hash brown burger? So here's the bun. And I'm gonna save the hash browns for So the first thing that I'm gonna do is make sure it's very moist because, you know, the bun's gonna dry. So I'm gonna put on the ketchup again.
You know what I'm saying, bro? I mean, shit. It worked fine before for me.
Okay, so here is my hash brown burger that I invented. You know, the expensive $1 bun, but here it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
I like it. It's like, have any of you ever had what do you call it? Potato pancakes. Oh my gosh, I love potato pancakes. A very popular food of like Polish people, Slavic people. I used to go to the Russian Orthodox church with my family when I was younger, and we used to go to the bazaar. They called it a bazaar or like a festival, and they have lots of potato pancakes, and that's what it reminds me of. And the bun, you know, the bun is very soft and good, so. Yummy.
Very sharp.
Is this even allowed? You know, I'm surprised they didn't say something like, you can't be recording strangers on our property. This is private property. But this is still technically a public place, so you can record. I did Google just to make sure. I want to get hashtag arrested sloth, where I, you know, arrested sloth. It's so good. How many of you have been to Florida Beach? You know, whether it's Fort Lauderdale, whether it's Miami, West Palm Beach, Lake Worth. How many of you have been here? I have been here a few times. You know, I used to live here, and people always say, "Do you go to the beach all the time?" But I never really did. It's like when I used to live by Hershey Park. People always say, "Did you go all the time to Hershey Park?" And I say no. You know, you take it for granted wherever you live, and you're like, it's there, but it's always going to be there. But then you never actually get up off your booty and go. So I didn't really go that often, and also I was a little self-conscious about my weight. And I've had, you know, issues. Like, being honest, I have had issues with how I look, and you know, I think a lot of us, struggle with that, with like self-image, and it just is what it is. But when I was talking to the old people, I'm sorry for calling them the old people, which I call them the seniors, but that sounds just as bad, you know. I remember my aunt, first let me just say real quick, my aunt is 70 almost, 69, something like that. And she hates being referred to as a senior, because she says, you know, that is for old people. I'm not old, even though she is old. She's like, no, you know, like I said, everyone, it's like that young person trapped in the old person's body. So, oh, this is really good. But anyways, they said they love the beach. They love going to the beach. I just love the old people. I love them. I don't know how to, let me open another. Okay, so I have one box done. Put that down here. The nice thing about here is that, like, you can stack your cups. You know, when you're done with one, you just put it inside the other one, so you save space. And I'm almost done with this one. See, this one I have 3 left. This is number 3. Tastes like butter. Tastes like buttermilk. Oh, so creamy and crunchy. Well, they're deep fried, you know, so. And then on the dinner party, you know, obviously, I've never met most of these people. So they'd say, who are you? Where are you from? What do you do with your life? And so I described mukbang to them. And, you know, they're very attentive. You know, sometimes when you talk to older people, they kind of like wander off. They're very sharp for their age, you know. I hope I'm like them when I'm that. Very sharp. And, they were, you know, they didn't like laugh. Like, I expected them to be like, oh, young man, that's, you know, that's not a way to live your life. That's, you know, but they're very like forward thinking. I'm like, I'm here to like provide for people. First of all, I was like, I love to eat. I eat a lot. So that right there gives me an advantage because for mukbang, the best mukbangers eat a lot. Secondly, I love to talk and have lots of stories. Third of all, I am dedicated to whatever I do. So, and they were like, that is great. They're very supportive. Not like I needed their approval or anything. I don't really know them, but it just felt really good. And then they asked me, do you have a girlfriend? Who's in your life? They actually met Orlin in the past. Orlin used to clean the gutters out of this guy's house. Those of you, do you guys know what gutters are? It's like that thing that traps the rain underneath the roof. Well, Orlin used to, you know, Orlin's very helpful. He did a lot of help for the seniors. And I said, well, you know Orlin. I go, oh yeah, that young man from, where is it? Peru? I said Colombia. He's my partner. And it's so weird for me to say I don't know, like, boyfriend doesn't sound right, it seems like, because it's been so many, well, it's not that many years, 3 years, but it seems like forever, you know? But partner sounds weird to me, but I don't want to say husband. What do I say? I saw, like, my friend, so sometimes it has to be like my friend Orlin. Oh yeah, I live with my friend. And people can put two and two together. They're with it, you know, or they know the signs, or some. I know, I remember in high school, I had a friend, her name was Brianna, and she had two moms. And Brianna was on the softball team with my sister. And both her moms would come to the game. This is a lot of food, wow. And my parents used to say, you know, that's her friend. That's her friend. And then when they got, but they knew. Everyone knew, but you know, they were respected too. And then when I got to an age when I came out, they're like, well, you know, Brianna's parents are gay. So, why am I bringing this up? Yeah, so, it's just weird for me to say partner. I don't know why. I guess when like you first get married, I'm like my husband, my wife. It's like this weird feeling, like, what am I saying? My fiance, number 2. I still have 10 more sticks left. Now we're back to stick number 1 of bucket number 3. 3 of 4. But what I like about these fast food restaurants in America, you could order all this food for yourself and no one, well, I was gonna say no one asks twice because people eat a lot here. But then again, that guy just did come up to me and say, wow. After this, I'm on my way to the library so that I can upload yesterday's mukbang at Taco Bell. And where I'm staying, I told you guys the Wi-Fi is really bad. So it's not really bad, but for uploading, I watched it for like 20 minutes, and it didn't even go up 1%. And I'm like, okay, this is not happening. So to the library I go. Thank God for public libraries, you know. I thought about like doing a mukbang in the library, but I don't think that's gonna go up. First of all, no food. One time I snuck in rice, a bucket of rice into, when I lived here last time. I snuck a bucket of rice into the library, and they had like this guard walking around, and he was like, no sir, no sir. I'm like, well, he caught me at my last spoonful, so he's like, no worry. I'm like, okay, well, last spoon. Yeah, but, so no food, and the talking, you know, libraries are quiet, so. By the way, this is like 3,000 calories right here. 3,000. It's getting busy now. So on the website it said the busiest times were noon, you know, when people are on their lunch break from work, they come here. Oh, it's on my book bag. I got it down here. So many stairs right now. It's like, okay, you know what I'm doing. So how's everyone's food? Please comment down below right now. If you haven't done so already, if you're new to my channel, I always like to know what you're eating with me. It makes me happy to know that we actually spent time together eating. I get so many of you who are like, oh, I'm eating air, I'm eating gum, I'm sipping coffee. I'm like, oh, that would be torture for me. Especially if, you know, a lot of people go on the verge of hunger. Like, even though they have food, they try to like watch their food intake, you know? Especially in the States and the developed world. So I think it's more common with women as well. You know, you're not starving, but you're hungry, and you'll have a cracker just to keep you through. So you watch these things, and it makes you want to go in full-on binge mode. I don't know how I could never. Nice and sweet. Who sings this? This is Sheryl Crow, isn't it? No. Oh my gosh, I'm already getting full. This is great. I thought this like would be perfect, but I guess not. And I have more ketchup over here. And look, I can put it inside the other one. Nice and neat. I like it. Speaking of neat. Oh my god, I said neat, and the first thing that came to my mind is Princess Neat. Now, most of you don't know what I'm talking about, so forget it. Why? Neat, as in cleaning. Orlin, while I'm here, is cleaning the house. And, you know, so nice. I mean, because I left it a little messy, that mukbang. And, you know, I had to do 2 mukbangs that day. And I was like, oh, I'll clean it. And I usually do. Especially since he makes my food. The deal is that he cooks, I clean. So by the way, I really want to like surprise him with a gift. You know, he doesn't like stuff, and I want to give him something here. When I went to Walmart to get my shirt, I saw these nice long pajama pants that are really fuzzy. They were only $10, $12, and I'm thinking, excuse me, I was like, will he wear them? You know? Will he use? I want to get something practical. I'm like, okay, I say to him, if you give me gifts, make sure it's practical. Make sure it's not something that's just gonna sit in a drawer. I hate clutter. So, I think he's gonna wear, and you know, he gets cold really easily, and even at nighttime, it's not even like that cold, but cold enough. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna get, I don't know what else to get him though, the long pajama pants. So anyways, he's cleaning the house, and he called me this morning to say good morning, which is so sweet. It's like, how did you sleep? On his first relationship, you know. Got the death glare. Oh, she just burst into flames right now. So I pretty much finished my potato sandwich burger. It was good, but with that money, I'd rather just get more hash browns. Oh, they're cleaning the tables. One box left of each. One box left of the French toast sticks and the hash browns. Wow, really filling. Working through. You know, I keep talking about last night with at the party. The Panera Bread. By the way, I don't know if the bread had eggs in it. I didn't check. I just ate it. Because you guys, if you don't know, I don't eat eggs. Life goes on. I don't think, you know, sometimes you can tell that it was very chewy. Very chewy, like gummy. I don't know if that, I don't know. But anyways, they told me that in New York City, they're building a tunnel under the tunnel. They're building like another train deeper below the current subway system, which like blew my mind. I was like, really? How did I not know about this? Like I said, they're very sharp with the times, these people. And I didn't even realize. And they said they're doing the same, they're building something in Seattle. And oh, in London as well, they're building like extension of the subway system or another train under the train. It's amazing. Oh my gosh. And the guy, he said that his grandfather built the L, it's called the L, which stands for elevated, the elevated train in Chicago. Because he said he used to live in Chicago or whatever. And yeah, he built that. It's so cool to like have a family member like, oh yeah, my great-great-grandfather built, you know, Eiffel Tower, you know, something crazy. I thought it was really cool. Builders don't get enough like credit, I think. Same with farmers, you know. I would turn my nose up to farmers when I was a kid. Like, who cares about a farmer? But when I got older, especially when I met Orland, because his parents were farmers and he grew up on a farm, and he's like, you know, he grows all his stuff, his plants and his trees and his fruits. Like, I got this like newfound respect for farmers, and I'm staying on a farm right now, you know, the mango farm. It's so much hard work, it's dedication, and you're providing something good for people. Like the mango farm that I'm staying at. Like, she has given her life to grow these beautiful foods, like, and it's hard work, it's very hard. Same with construction. Are any of you guys construction workers? I could never. You know, oh my gosh. It's hard enough for me to like carry stuff. I'm just like a very flimsy. Like you look at me and you feel like you could snap me in half. I'm just not like the builder type. I'm the designer type. I'll like decorate. But I'm not the builder type. There's a one around the edge. They are laughing so hard at me because they can hear everything I say. You know, the trick to doing this is to tell myself, I'm here for you. It's cool. I'm here for you. I don't care what they think of me. I do, but I don't. Everyone cares, but at the end of the day, they're never going to see me again. And they can think whatever they want. Oh my gosh, can you believe that all this is in my stomach right now? Nearly $20 worth of junk. Oh, that's good though. Oh, just the other day, I was talking to a friend, an old friend who I haven't talked to in a very, very long time. A very long time. And I don't even know, she like found my Facebook, and my Facebook friends are now like 32 friends. I keep it to a bare minimum. But I accepted her, I don't know why. Oh, I do know why, because she messaged me first and it went to my other folder, which I do check sometimes. And we were chatting and stuff, and she talked about our friend, our mutual, well, classmate, if you will, from high school, and she got in a car accident. And now she's missing both of her arms. Wow. And I was like, oh my god. If you have arms right now, comment down below, and you know what? You better be freaking thankful for that. Whenever you think that your life sucks, or that you have it real bad, there's people that just got in an accident. There are people out there that now are missing their arms, luckily survived, but that's the price they pay. And you know, I didn't ask all the questions like, was it her fault? Was it someone else's fault that ran into her? Regardless, so be thankful today, wherever you are. I'm thankful for this food, that I have legs, that I could ride a bicycle an hour to get here, or no, almost like 30 minutes to get here. 30 minutes, which is short. Riding yesterday to Taco Bell, that was like an hour each way. So, but I'm thankful that I have legs. So, when you hear stories like that, especially with people that you know, that you've had class with, that you've worked with, people that you've dated, yada yada, the list goes on. It puts you in a perspective. It puts like you in a perspective. And for me, at least, it makes me grateful for what I have. And then I say to myself, okay, when am I next? Oh, yesterday at the party, my friend Beth. Hi Beth. I think she's gonna be watching my videos now because I told the whole table about YouTube. I think she should be the only one that would actually check it out. You know, the lady next to me couldn't even turn on the iPad. I remember she was like, I just need to get to that screen so that I can go to Amazon.com. That's what she would say. And I'd be like, oh, you mean like a browser? Yes, the browser. You know, if she had brought it with her, I would have showed her. But I don't think I'll ever see her again, which is, you know, people come and go in your life. But anyway, so Beth, who was there, is watching this. Hi, Beth. And she was telling me a story about her parents. They contracted this company or whatever to put a new floor for their house. And they live in Palm Beach. You know, Palm Beach is a very expensive place to live. It has its rough areas, of course, like any place, but in general, a lot of wealthy people come to Palm Beach. And she mentioned the price. I'm not going to tell you the price out of respect because I think she's watching it. But it was a lot of money. A lot of money for a floor. And they were doing it wrong. Like illegally wrong. And she went to the office of this company day after day complaining, I need to speak to the manager, I need to speak to the manager. Your company's doing wrong to my parents, I'm here, this is wrong. And so one day she did a sit-in. She sat in the middle of the store and said, I'm not leaving until you bring your manager. And they said, well, we're gonna have to call the police then. And then she said, good, bring the police. Bring them here because what you're doing, you're committing a crime against my parents. You know, you're messing up the floor and charging them and charging, all these little white-collar crimes, I live in a country where there's petty crimes, they shoot you for shoes, they steal this and they steal that, but, this country is not any better because it has even bigger crimes, like white-collar crimes, legal crimes. So hearing that story, I was just like, oh my gosh, wow, And so she ended up going to small claims court, and she won. And her parents got their whole house, not the whole house, like the whole floor done for free. They covered it, and they did it extra nice. So, makes me think of Judge Judy. I love Judge Judy. I've always loved Judge Judy. I don't know why. I do know, here's why. I like the way she thinks. I like that she's sharp, and I like that she stays on task. And she keeps an order in that court. And she's entertaining. And when you look at her, you can't believe that she's really 80 years old. She's a fossil. She's a fossil. And you look at her and she's like, I love her though. How many of you like Judge Judy? My mom thinks I'm so crazy. Well, my mom thinks I'm crazy for every reason under the blue moon, but that's another reason she's like, oh, you like Judge Judy? That's ironic for my mom to say, because my mom's just like her, very strict and very cynical and sarcastic, but I'm so entertained by that show. So you guys, I'm basically almost done with all of this. Look down here. Oops. I keep forgetting that it's like almost winter time. Like around the world it's starting to get cold. I'm basically moved from the equator to Florida right now, and the temperature is relatively the same. I mean, it's actually a little chilly here compared to where it's hot where I am. So like Florida is very hot too, but it's like windy and cool, like low 70s, and the wind makes it feel cooler. And I was talking to my friend Emily, who lives in Canada, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Alberta, or Saskatchewan, one of the two. What's that word? Well, I told her at nighttime where we live it gets pretty chilly, and she was like, oh, I would love to have that weather, because right now it's like -2 degrees Celsius or something like that. I'm like, oh, that's very cold, right? Or -2 degrees Fahrenheit, one of the two, like very, very, very cold up in Canada. So like I said, perspective. Everything in life is perspective. Everything in life is perspective. It really is. You know, at the party I went to, one of the ladies talked about her family having problems with their family, and her family's alcoholics, they're gamblers, they're problematic, they don't reason well, and they think she's weird, and she's the outcast, you know? And it's like, if I would have talked to her family, they probably would be so convincing that she's terrible and she does that because they think she's bad because of X, Y, and Z. You know, they have lists of reasons. It's like Santa Claus. He opens up his roll of all the naughty kids, and there she is at the top with the gold star by her name. And you know, she's naughty. They think she's terrible. But when I talk to her, I had this image in my head that her family are the weird ones, and they're the ones with all the problems. Like I said, the gambling, the addiction, money problems. So it's a matter of perspective, you know. I've had many issues with my family, you know, growing up. It was a rough road. And I take a lot of responsibility for that. I recognize that a lot of the problems that we had stemmed from me and my behavioral issues as a child. But at the same time, I was crazy, but I was also put with a crazy parent, you know. It was like crazy and crazy in the same roof. I think it's that way for so many people around the world, you know. And sometimes I try to like look at my life externally, and I say like, I'm very messed up. Like I have issues. Like, oh, my world is, you know, like I'm the crazy one. Like I have such mental problems and this and that. But at the same time, I also look at my family. I'm like, well, they have this and this and this and this. You know, families. I remember going to counseling and therapy all the time with my family. And my mom would look to this family at our church. They would sit in the same pew as us. You know, we were family friends. You know, friendly, not like close. And she used to say in counseling, I want to be like that family. It seems so perfect. You know, they seem so nice and happy. Because like when we go out in public, my family, by looking at us, you can tell there's like issues. I don't know, you can just tell sometimes. At least I perceive it that way. And when we look at other families, they seem so perfect. And then now I know that those families have their issues too. They have their issues. Everyone has issues. Everyone, right? You do too. You're weird in your own way. So you have to remember that. Whenever you think, you know, you're having a down day, or you're really mad at your mom, or you think she's a crazy clown, or strict, or whatever. And also the days that you're really hard on yourself. Remember, everyone has that piece of the pie, so to speak. Everyone is equally responsible for the problems. You know, it takes two to tango. All right, it takes two to tango. That's why, like, when you have breakups and fights in relationships, sure, it might stem from someone sometimes, but you have to remember your reaction is just as important. And sometimes the best reaction is not to give a reaction. You know, I've had people make terrible videos about me, like straight up lies, people trying to like make me out to be something that I'm not. And you know, some of them I have responded to, and then other ones I say, my choice right now, my reaction is not to react at all, because we all have our own piece of crazy, and I know that person's real crazy. All right. So, anyways, I have 3 more. Can you believe I had all these? Biking to the library is going to be really interesting after this. I think I'm gonna like sit and use the Wi-Fi. Well, first I have to figure out how I'm gonna get there, you know? I'm gonna do it though, for you.
You gotta be careful who you get. You're right.
Last night at the party, I keep talking about the party, my friend was telling me about how her father is kind of losing it in the head or whatever. And so he was driving, like I said, Palm Beach has a lot of, you know, wealthy neighborhoods and this and that. And so there was this house party. And outside the house, this like mansion, were parked like Ferraris and Mercedes and all these like Bentleys, all these beautiful, expensive cars, right? And so her father ran into 6 of them and didn't even realize. He got in an act, like ran up against, scratched all of them, costing like $500,000 worth of damage. when he got home, he didn't realize that like he got an accident, you know, like old and getting senile or whatever. But the police came to his house and they knocked on the door and they said, well, his wife answered and they said, your husband has been involved in an accident. And she goes, that's ridiculous. He's sitting right here just fine. And they pulled her outside and he said, have you looked at his car? And she said no. So they pulled her outside. And his car had like dents, scratches, paint from the other cars up onto it. And the guy, her husband, had no idea. And so his insurance dropped him. They removed his license. So I feel bad for the insurance having to cover all that, but they're saying, yeah, we're gonna pay for all the damage you did, the $500,000 worth of damage, but no more. No, oh my gosh, they're serving French fries now. The person right there is eating French fries. Their Burger King French fries are so good. So yeah, I hope that doesn't happen. You know, don't we all hope that doesn't happen to us, that we get to that point, but it can happen. Well, I am finished everything, and thank you guys so much for like spending time with me, and I'm so happy that, you know, we could eat together and everything. And if you're new to the channel, definitely subscribe, because tomorrow I am off to, I think Wendy's or Subway, one of the two. I have to still figure out what I'm gonna order there and everything. You know, it's like a process for me, but by the way, I did have 1 cup of water. I never drink water, but for this I need to like help it move along. So anyways, thanks so much, and I'll see you all tomorrow, and please give this a thumbs up by clicking the like button if you liked it, and yeah, bye.